The festival is nigh!
Go ahead and start the match. Chris versus Shura. Ginger, center square.
Toned.
I'm going Lord of Blood. We'll stick with Lord of Blood we talked about earlier. And it is 2 Knights Cav.
Ooh.
So that's a very fast one. Hey, Lord of Blood was one off of center. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Hey,
I'll take that any day.
Yeah.
2 Knights Cavs is an interesting one. It's a very, very, very fast square if you do the Knights Cav in Limgrave and Weeping. The question is, though, how much other Weeping is there on this board? You do have tree bosses with the Erd Tree avatar. But other than that, I see almost no reason to go to Weeping. Is there a Night boss in Weeping that I'm missing? I mean, maybe some incants. Like, overall, pretty much no reason to go to Weeping. In terms of the other early squares, though, I mean, top left corner, just like you called, Ginge, we do have Atone for Your Sins. That is not the earliest square, but fairly early and would combo off of Ginger's favorite square right now, Renala, after she summons 4 times, also in row 1. Godric,
and in the same position as yesterday, mind you.
Yeah, it is the exact same spot. In row 2, Godric while summoning Nefeli could be pretty quick. Row 3, obviously those 2 Knights Cavs, which we talked about earlier, and 3 paintings. 2 troll bosses can be pretty quick in row number 4. And then not anything super fast in row 5. In terms of the late game squares, though, I mean, honestly, everything's pretty chill, except for Moog Lord of Blood through Remembrances. And Gargs, yeah. If this thing goes late, look for a pretty strong synergy between Moog Lord of Blood and Through Remembrances. Now, there a little bit of hidden synergy to help you get to Lord of Blood faster is actually the Vike Invader. The reason why is because at the church behind the Vike Invader, there is a dead maiden, which you can use to accelerate the quest line. There are 2 steps, or I guess 3 steps in the Moog quest line. The first is to kill a shard bearer so that Vare moves. The second is you talk to Vare and he has you do an invasion where you go kill Magnus. And then the third and final step is to go coat a cloth that he gives you in Maiden's Blood. You have 3 options for the Maiden. The first option is actually in the Chapel of Anticipation. You'd have to go back through the imbued key door. The second option is is it Irina before she dies or Hyetta? Whatever the one is in Weeping. I think that's Irina.
Yeah, I think
she turns into Hyetta. And then the third and final option is Vike's Maiden, which is at Vike's Church in up by the Frenzy Flame Village in Weeping, or in Liurnia. Both players here, starting with the same class, they have the Divine Birdhelm and the Iron Cleaver. Now, fun fact, according to, the rankings god that is Rusty, Iron Cleaver is an S tier weapon, better than both Darkmoon Greatsword and Blasphemous Blade. That's true.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I was working on a video. I kind of scrapped it, but I was working on a video for a Darkmoon Greatsword Blasphemous Blade thing, and literally in my intro, I was gonna say, like, everyone agrees that Darkmoon Greatsword and B-Blade are the best weapons in the game, except Rusty. He thinks the Iron Cleaver is better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see what these players rush on this board. There is a good amount of Liurnia on this board. I feel like a Liurnia rush would be very valuable here.
I agree. I mean, because I don't think you can justify going to Weeping for the 2 Knights Cavs.
No.
I think overall, like, there's just not enough in Weeping, and that center square isn't strong enough here to make it work. Now, I will say Shura's eyeing it. I can see based on this, like, sometimes you can see squares that players have starred. Shura has starred 6 squares. the entirety of the top left to bottom right diagonal and troll bosses. So that might be what he's looking at here today.
Okay.
Chris has stars all over the board. Sure, that's very intentional. He's really thinking about that top left to bottom right.
The top left to bottom right is good, but very snipeable.
I would agree. I think for Shura's perspective, he is very much like, nah, it's fast, it's unstoppable. He does like those fast lines, right?
Yep.
And there is something to those fast lines. I remember Aggie from last season was a big fan of those, right? Because they force your opponents into like 50-50s early, right? Most of the time you end up splitting and like it is what it is. It's not the end of the world either way. But there are definitely some times where like you win the 50-50s, your opponent gets sniped twice and that's it. Just immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on quick boards, like if you make the wrong decision and get sniped, it could be extremely detrimental.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it doesn't happen that way. Most of the time it's like, all right, like it's one player threatened a line, the other guy got blocked really quick. But there are definitely some times where it's like the person who's on the back foot makes the wrong decision and that's just GG's.
Yep.
The other thing I do like is kind of inherently here. So I'm going to show you guys with some stars. If you rush a diag, right? Obviously in practice, you'd be saying like, hey, I'm going to be getting every single square. But what's really nice about rushing that diag is that it inherently blocks all other bingo lines. So it can be really strong as a defensive play.
Speaking of Darkmoon Greatsword.
Darkmoon Greatsword in the Greatsword check, but it can be really strong as a defensive play as well as an offensive play, right? You know, if you rush a diagonal bingo and you get 4 out of the 5 squares, well, you don't get your bingo. That sucks. But you've blocked every bingo line available to your opponent except for 2. That's pretty good, right?
Very, extremely powerful.
And Graphic,
squares,
thank you so much for the resub. Appreciate you, dude.
The diag squares are some of the most powerful squares on the board for that reason, because each diag square that you get effectively blocks 3.
Both players are going to be heading into Liurnia, like you called, saying that, you know, that Liurnia is very, very powerful.
Yep.
Also, while it's on the mind, guys, if you're not following Graphic, go ahead and give him a follow, drop him some support. He's been a great co-commentator for us, and, you know, a great part of the bingo community as well as the Elden Ring community in general. He's been really working hard on getting Rando Deathless all bosses. I know he's going to get it. Region locked, yes. Region locked. Rando Deathless all bosses. So, and I know he's going to get it soon, and he's just a great dude, really nice dude. So if you're not following him, give him a follow. I'd really appreciate it.
Yes, please. He's an amazing person.
All right, both players making their way into Liurnia. They are Chris is a little bit ahead. There is a little bit more stream delay on Shura's side. Looks like, but it's only about 4 or 5 seconds. Actually, no, Chris is pretty significantly ahead here.
Chris did not do the Greatsword check. So that does come into play here with how far ahead he is.
I'm surprised he didn't, you know, I mean, because we saw last week, actually, you know, Shura was the benefactor. Going for this Knights Cav in Liurnia South, if you are, or like Liurnia, it's technically Liurnia Highway North, even though it's the Southern Knights Cav in Liurnia. You know, even though Shura was the benefactor of it, like we saw Ratty rush this last week with a +0 club, and it was awful. And like the Iron Cleaver is very similar. I mean,
does the Iron Cleaver have blood or like bleed?
No. Let me double check, but I don't believe it does.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna take my camera away for just a second.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, no bleed buildup. It's just standard damage. It does have wild strikes, but it has a really goofy charge art too. And I wonder, you know, so I wonder if Chris is gonna go for this. It looks like he's gonna grab the Somber 2 here. No, actually, he's just rushing paintings. Shura gets the Spirit Glaive check,
Okay.
and Shura
Definitely
does
not
not.
what they're looking for here.
Yeah. So Chris is going. We now can see their opening plays. Chris is going for paintings. Shura is just going for Liurnia map progression.
Yep.
What
And
is
now
really nice.
This could be a Red Wolf into Atoned play by Shura.
It could be, but honestly, I mean, there's. Didn't turn off my ringer, but
Brawl
if
bosses, Vike.
well for Chris, right? If he does, he's not going to be too far behind if he goes for a tone, right? Because he would have to do a tone without Red Wolf, but he has this grace, so he's already not too far from the Church of Vows. You still would have to go to Academy to get that Celestial Dew. Your two options for the fastest Celestial Dews are Academy or Post Loretta. And Academy is just way faster because it is right. It's actually that item on, you see it. You know what item it is if you've just played casual Elden Ring. If you look at the Academy gate, it's that item on the other side of the gate that you warp past and you always wonder, what the hell was that? It's a Celestial Dew. Very important in bingo.
And I never thought of this for like the longest time, and I'm actually like ashamed that it took me this long to realize it. But you can actually just straight up hit that merchant, and then grab the Celestial Dew and go from there. I always end up at the beginning of playing this, I would end up hitting Vare, and I still see a lot of players do that, where they'll go to first step, hit Vare, but you can just smack that merchant.
I think people just consider like merchants as not like, oh, they're not like an NPC in the same way. I think because of in bingo, right? Like we say friendly NPCs, no hermit merchants. So people don't think of hermit merchants the same way. But yeah, you can atone for your sins. You can also use EG. I mean, you can use anything.
That is true as well,
also, that was a big Rosis Axe pickup there for Shura just a minute ago.
I do enjoy me the Rosis.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Especially after yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do really like this play here from Chris to go paintings. It's not in a super optimal position on the board, but getting paintings gives you massive map progress in just about every region.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a strong start for Chris here. It looks like Shura's making his way into Academy. The idea here will likely be Red Wolf not being a square, but Red Wolf going first, then going for a tone. After that, also, you know, he's gonna have his weapon. He can get his Rosis Axe set up. Rosis Axe is an incredible weapon. I mean, maybe you still want to do a round table check, but it's definitely in that, you know, low A tier, very high B tier of bingo weapons. It's a great one. So I would anticipate him to probably just rock with this thing. And, you know, after he kills the Red Wolf, he can go upgrade. He can go atone, then upgrade his weapon, and then go for Night Scabs. And that would be a very strong opener.
Not a fan of Chris not getting the grace there. I think the idea is going to round table here, but I still like getting that grace there because it's a nice little focal point if you want to go to the other side of Caelid.
I mean, he might be rushing, right? So Shura hasn't marked anything he doesn't know. To me, the question now is if Chris immediately rushes a tone and not via Red Wolf, just like rushes a tone, he could beat Shura, but he would have to go now.
Yes. Honestly, I still think Shura wins the race if Shura goes and just hard rushes it and first tries Red Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, even Chris going to round table would lose him any idea of winning that race.
Yep.
Shura messes up the skip. Honestly, I think this is fine, though. Getting that Somber 3. You can grab that Somber 3. Yep. It's really valuable.
And that's why I opted not to do the skip yesterday. I really wanted that 3 in terms of monetary value because I didn't have money at the moment. So getting this 3, it saves you, I think it's what, 4K for the 3?
I think it
At
is
EG?
4K. Yeah, I think it's 2, 3, 4. I don't think I wasn't paying attention super close, but I don't think we saw anything at Roundtable. Maybe maybe I might have seen Falks, but nothing insane.
I can check.
Thank you, Ginger.
Let's see.
Oh, Chris didn't even do halberd check earlier. He was really rushing this. All right, so
Yeah,
he's gonna go. He finds Spirit Glaive.
Long sword. Yeah, there's nothing at round table.
Okay.
Nothing at all.
Oh, Shura has a dog, and the dog has glowy eyes. That's extra runes. I could kill that dog. Get that.
Yeah, definitely kill it.
Well, it jumped off. How many runes does he get from a glowy eye dog? 740. Also, Chris is going for Knights Caps.
Okay.
This is the one in Liurnia, the one Liurnia Highway North Knights Cab. This one's very scary. There's rocks everywhere. There's a bear. Damage is actually better than I thought it would be, though.
Not great though, and with his health, he's one shot with that attack right there, with the sweeping attack. That one hits. I think it's the hardest hitting attack that the Knights cast.
He's also very close to the. He's getting really close to the bear. Shura is entering the Red Wolf fight, so we're gonna go ahead and go dual screen here.
Did Shura upgrade Rosas, or did he just get it online?
This looks like +0 damage to me.
Yeah. Because mine was +2 and was dealing quite a bit more than that.
Actually, funny enough, he only has 120 runes, so that dog might have the glowy-eyed dog might have saved him. I think if that dog didn't have glowy eyes, he would be using Iron Cleaver right now.
That's some luck right there.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds of getting glowy eyes? Like, if you don't know, the glowy eyes give you like an extra, I think it's like 5x amount of runes from an enemy.
They're souped up variants of the enemy.
Yeah, I think what the odds of it are like 1 in 20 at best. 1 in 50? I don't even know. It's very low.
Fun fact for you, in Rando, when we added Devonia as a boss, she can sometimes be a boss with glowing eyes.
Yeah.
And it's overpowered because I had her at Morgott and got 500k runes.
Yeah, that's insane. Because yeah, you get 5x the normal amount of runes if the enemy has the glowing eyes. Chris does knock the Knight's Cab off of the horse. He's now doing really well with the backstabs here, and Shura gets Red Wolf down. We'll check in with Chris. Chris, he's gonna summon. Wow, lucky to get that backstab there.
Very nice.
No way he doesn't summon. Okay. This has been a very long fight for Chris. Chris did take a little bit of chip damage. That kind of aura circle does do chip. Does heal it off though. Just one more hit on the actual cab will kill, and nicely done by Chris here. They're getting the first of 2 Knights cabs done.
And we do see Shura just hard rushing that atoned here.
And that was a very long fight.
Yes.
But he will put good pressure on that row 3.
Very good pressure on the row 3 by getting this Knight's Cab's middle square and blocking the diag there that Shura is going for. And I say going for because you said he had everything starred, so it's assumed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, going for in theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Shura's gonna run to EG now and upgrade his Rosa's Axe to +4. So Chris will have the early pressure and center square, pressure being on road 3 and center square. But Chris hasn't even found Rosa's Axe, and Shura's is gonna be +4.
Yep. Chris has map advantage in a little bit of map advantage, and Shura has massive weapon priority.
This guy's trolling him hard. I mean, this is the problem with these Knights Caps. They're just slow.
Fun fact for you, if you notice Chris is chasing the Knight's Cav when the Knight's Cav is like running away, if you run away from the Knight's Cav, he will switch positions and come back to you sooner. So you actually waste time by chasing the Knight's Cav down.
Ouch.
There's that big sweep attack.
What the fuck, man?
Almost rolled off the cliff there. Yeah, Cleaver is definitely much stronger than I thought it would be.
Chris needs to be careful. He's out of heals.
Fucking ads, man.
And he's one shot.
Yeah, this field guy was being pretty chill, but then just went full aggression mode. Nicely done.
All right, Chris gets a square. Don't think we have any reaction from Shura. But Shura has a huge weapon advantage. Like he has a map advantage. He has he's closer to Renala. He has a weapon advantage. I mean, there's part of me that wonders, like, I don't know, man. Like, Chris has spent a lot of times on those. He clearly did paintings in the night cabs, has spent a lot of time. If I'm Shura, I would consider going Vike into either Renala and Treeball, or just Vike into Gronk, right? Like, really pressure that row 1, because Chris has no weapon set up. Not necessarily that, like, you anticipate to get it, but sending Chris into something like Tree Bosses early, that's a shitty square.
Yeah. I do kind of like the Godric Nefeli Lu play here, or at least just killing Margit for a little bit of extra money and then just kind of holding priority on that. And definitely Vike is a very powerful square here. That puts a lot of pressure, like you said, on that column, or on that line, that row.
Now, the thing I do like about this is you can set yourself up with a seal. Because it is, you do really want seals if you're Shura. Finding a block otherwise on the row 3 is awkward.
Yeah.
Dragonkin is very doable, but it's far, right? And, you know, Mogul of Blood is the latest square pretty much in the set. And funny enough, both of them synergize with you know, GGG, but no GGG on the board.
Yep. When I saw Dragonkin, I immediately looked for GGG and was a little disappointed that it wasn't there.
Yeah, and it would have been great synergy with Lord of Blood too.
Yep. Where is the GGG at Moog Lord of Blood?
So you know where the lands, you know where the Heroes Rune is in Mogwin Dynasty Mausoleum. So like you run into the actual mausoleum, and it's kind of in the same spot in terms of like it's very central, but instead of being in the front of the room, it's in the back of the room. So like right when there's that ledge that leads to the doorway, So you just kind of jump off, and then the GGG's like around here.
Oh.
All right, looks like Chris does have his Rosas axe. And he got the int, but he's very short on runes right now. He did a good job. I know he picked up the Somber 1 by the Knight's Cav. So he at least has some Somber Stones in his inventory. But yeah, gonna have to go pop some balloons here. And Shura is just rushing hard for Godric Nepheli.
Yeah, he's not setting up the Grace for the seal, though.
Yeah, I don't love that.
He was debating on it. You saw him do like a little like, do I want to? No. Do I want to? No. And then just committed to Nepheli Lu.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, you could always just take the elevator back, but it is objectively slower. It would save a little bit of time in the long run to just grab that Grace there.
Now, one thing I need to say, especially if Chris levels, this column 2 could get interesting because Godric Nepheli is your shard bearer for Lord of Blood. Vike is your maiden for Lord of Blood. Then you just have to kill Magnus and then go do Lord of Blood. You'd have to pick up sorcery somewhere along the way. But like if Chris levels himself out of faith, Lord of Blood will fix that. Like even you can level like hell in the whatever is it 400 something thousand you get from Lord of Blood. Like you'll be fine. You'll be able to hit whatever stat requirement you need. And I think Shura is going to go Vike here. I like this a lot.
I love it. This puts a lot of pressure then on that row. And he's shown he's got Renala progress. Well, it's assumed at least that he does. Like, he got atoned when he did.
You know, the only thing is there is no capital on this board. So, you know, normally having shard bearers down early is great because it especially sets you up for like one of those last few squares being capital. On this board, there's literally no capital. And if you really want to, you could do like Crucible Knights or get the seal there, but that's not happening. That's not smart. So, you know, you only need, there's only 2 shard bearers. You need 1 shard bearer down if you want to go to Lord of Blood. And you need 1 shard bearer down for you need Radon specifically down for Gargs.
Yep.
But other than that, like really no value in the shard bearers outside of, you know, squares and runes.
Yeah, and then the acquire 3 remembrances.
Yeah.
If you claim all 3 of those, like if you do claim Godric and Renala, that sets you up great because then you just kill Radon for Valiant Gargs, and then you get that square. But
Chris
yeah,
has
other than
Izak's up to +4. You know, I'm not sure if he's just setting up Bellum or if he's also going Vike. Because if he is also going Vike, this would be, I mean, it'd be a snipe, but not the worst snipe for him because he will get map progress. That being said, though, this is not actually no. Is Chris doing
Onyx Lord?
I don't love this if he is.
I don't either.
He did it yesterday, but Onyx Lord was center square. Right, like that's different.
I think Onyx Lord is one you save for Smithing Stone Bellbearing 1 energy.
Or like just think about it later. Especially in Chris's spot, like he already sunk a bunch of time into getting that center square in Knight's Calves. I mean, because what other synergy is there? We don't have horse bosses for Loretta. We don't have Everjails. I mean, there's sorceries. Right, you get a few sorceries and night bosses. Loretta is a night boss.
I don't actually hate this if he kills a troll boss before going Onyx Lord. Because then he can just rush that line. If he were to kill Bowls, or not even Bowls, if he were to kill the tunnel troll first, and then just immediately, so kill Onyx Lord, immediately pivot to that troll, then immediately pivot to Crystallion Trio, that puts him on a great line, because he does have progress towards Crystallion Trio.
Yeah, my only thing is, I think that's scary in the sense that, and, you know, this is more so from our perspective too, right? Like, Shura really could rush this row 1. And like, if you give him an excuse, like, if you give him an excuse to go kill Garunk early, he will.
Yeah.
He totally will. Shura is one of the most experienced no-hit runners that I know. No-hit runners have to be extremely good at Garunk. It's one of the most dangerous fights. I know he knows it very well. Like, I don't know. I think that row 1 could potentially get a little scary.
Yeah, and with him getting Vike Invaders, that gets him. Has more progress on tree bosses by getting this square. Because if he got that, even this Grace here, if he doesn't get the other Grace, he has that tree avatar right there.
Yeah, so Shura is going to be fighting Vike, while Chris is fighting Loretta. This Vike is a menace.
Yes, he is.
Ooh, nice use of the ash.
Hits like a truck.
Oh, yeah, and Shura gets Magnus procced and guys, but he did grab the Grace there. He has crazy hyper armor on that Ash of War, and as a result... Oh my god, how is Chris alive?
Wow.
But yeah, he has crazy hyper armor on that Ash of War, so he was able to just tank through the attack there. And sure, it might be pivoting out to bolts. Also, Bulls is great too because it's Bulls carrying Knight. Bulls is a Knight boss.
Yep, and this is actually going to be really bad for Chris. Really bad timing here because if he gets Bulls, Chris will get Onyx Lord, and then Shura will be like, okay, now I'm just immediately pivoting to the Bulls, or the Troll and Limgrave.
Yeah, and Bulls does drop a sorcery as well.
Now, Chris did pick up the sorcery from the Scarab after Loretta.
Axes are so good for fast poise damage. Nicely done by Shura there. We'll go check in with Chris.
Fuck.
It looks like Shura is just straight up rushing this troll square.
Is Chris gonna die? No. And gets counter Shura. I was like, he's gonna get the kill, but is he gonna die? Yeah, so here's the difference. So sure, Chris is up 3-1, but Chris is kind of he has shown his entire ass to the class. Chris sure knows exactly what Chris has been doing. Chris does not really have, you know, any other squares super strongly set up other than like sorceries, which is a give and tell.
And it looks like Chris is going sorceries here.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's very good pressure.
Yeah.
I think night bosses will be very important for Shura. Like, it's just going to be a great square for blocking, you know, row 5, column 5 threats.
I'm
Very
surprised.
quick troll fight.
I mean, he also... I mean,
Because
he
Shura
at
has
least
Vike
one
set up, Godric set up, Renola set up.
Night boss in that case.
If he goes and kills a couple of tree bosses here, and then starts knocking out those squares,
He
that's
might
a
be going
blow.
sorceries though. This could be a snipe. No, it looks like he's going to third church. He's going Garronk. Yeah, this is Garronk.
Yep. Gonna set that up. Or even just claim the square.
I'm not surprised.
Setting this square, Grace up for invaders.
No, actually, yeah, no, he's going invaders now. I thought
Oh,
this
he
would
is?
be
Okay.
Garronk. Oh yeah, because he's gonna do Vike as one of his invaders. Duh.
That makes sense.
All right, Chris does get sorceries there.
Where is Chris going now?
He's going night bosses.
Okay.
I mean, there is good synergy with night bosses and clean rot night, right?
Yeah. And he does have a decent bit of Altus setup. In fact, I don't think Shura has any Altus setup other than having the deck Disgrace. He hasn't been to Kaled. He hasn't been in that side of Limgrave for the Fort Height either. This actually could be really bad for Shura here.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Shura could also just go clean rot night duo now. Like after he could do Vike and then go clean rot night duo because he could run 2 Altus, do a Nastia along the way, and then go clean rot night duo.
If he were to go clean rot night duo now, he definitely wins the square. He does need to make a decision though soon, hopefully on that.
Yeah, because he can very easily take out, like, you have options for invaders along the way, like, you know, like Anastasia at that smoldering church is probably your best bet. You can just do that while you're going to clean rot night duo. All right, Chris Shura gets Vike down. Chris is doing Stormhill Evergill. That is the Crucible Knight. And third Night Boss. And Chris dies. Yeah, I got greedy there with the parry into try to get the parry into Ash and just didn't have enough time to do that. Shura's going to be going round table, might do a little weapon check there, but really just going for Mad Tongue Albric as his final invader. Also, welcome in Bradley. Good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, so Shura just goes straight from Mad Tongue Albric. Gonna level first, actually, so we'll check in with Chris. Yeah, just straight, everything's going straight into Vig for him.
Yeah, as you said, with Moog on the board, there's really no need to rush 30 Faith, especially with it not being threatened right now.
Shura's fighting Albric. Did a really nice job to get the backstab at the very start.
We could see Krish end up going for 30 Faith at some point, just as a preemptive block with this Invader Square being marked.
Yeah.
Which would be really good for Shura.
All right, there's Mad Tongue for Shura. Chris is up against it again here. This is a long Crucible Knight fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Shura's going straight to Kaled.
Dude, can you like sit the fuck down? Fuck off.
Nicely done by Chris there. So that's his third night boss. Hey, you got Flame Cleanse Me.
Don't remind me. For those who don't know, I thought that was Flame Grant Me Strength and was using that.
To buff, yeah. This was like Ginger's first or second bingo match. He didn't realize that the incants were also randomized too, so he went to go pick up Flame Grant Me Strength, and it just so happened to be Flame Cleanse Me. And not only do the pictures look almost the exact same, the spells have almost the exact same name, and the animation is literally the exact same. So
Yep.
he was buffing with Flame Cleanse Me before his fights. All right, so Chris is just gonna rush night bosses here.
Honestly, I think this is a mistake. I think the synergy, it's greedy, but I think it's valuable here.
Chris needs to be very careful. Got lucky.
Yeah, the Asher War is not good for the staggers right at the beginning like that.
Yeah. Shura's gonna grab the Somber 5 here too. No, actually does not grab the 5, just going straight for the duo. Where's Chris going? Is he going tree bosses?
I don't hate it.
It is the Frenzy Flame perfume bottle. No, okay, so he goes Academy Key. Maybe a Renala play? This is really greedy to push into Renala. I mean, he might expect Shura to just sit on it, though.
Yeah, and Shura feels the pressure on that column 5 or row 5, so he is pushing Clean Rot Knight duo now.
The question is just, does Shura have enough time to kill Clean Rot Knight duo and still get Renala if he goes for it, if he wants it, right?
Honestly, I think he might. It just depends on how fast the fight goes and how quickly
Yeah.
he gets through.
Because Renala is a great square for either of them, right? You know,
Yeah.
for Chris, it blocks two of Shura's strongest bingo threats, being row 1 and column 4, and then for Shura, you really promote the hell out of those threats, right?
Yep.
And those are some nasty threats, right? Yeah,
Extremely.
that row 1, you having 3 out of 5 squares on the line already would be very strong. You know, as well as you got that column 4 with Gargs. Especially if he is able to get
Yeah, honestly, I really... Yeah, I mean, you know me. I love to rush my bingos. And I think Chris definitely... Like, knowing what we know, Chris definitely could have had this bingo if he used the Clean
And Shura's
Rot Knight
pivoting
duo
back.
as his last. Interesting choice by Shura to not go Clean Rot Knight duo here. Because that is the most eminent threat on the board.
I think it makes sense though, because Chris went for night bosses without Clean Rot Knight duo.
Yep.
And that happened while Chris was running towards... While Shura was running towards the duo, Chris marked night bosses without duo. So that makes a lot of sense, actually, to pivot out. That's a great call.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's reading Chris like a book. Chris set it up as a threat to like, okay, well, you can have Clean Rot Knight
Yeah.
duel, but I'm going to take Renala from you.
Because it's pretty clear now, you know that he did Crucible Knight. So what... Because it does make sense as a feint, where it's like, okay, I threaten I threaten row 5 to actually pivot to column 5.
See, but I don't like it because then that progresses Shura's line as well. Allowing that to get taken from you, it progresses Shura's column 1.
Yeah. So Chris is fighting Red Wolf while Shura's doing Renala. This should be a 2 cycle. Yeah, very comfortable 2 cycle.
Yeah, he's got better stats than when I fought Renala with the same leveled weapons, so.
Alright, so Shura is going in for Renala.
Alright, 4 incoming. Oh, shit. Alright.
Shura did not watch my opening play against Renala stage 2.
No, that was really clean by you.
Yeah, cause so when you rush into Renala stage 2, she always starts off with the Comet Azure attack. And so you can get a jumping heavy. Any other attack after that is gonna cause her to do her back away jump. And so you have time to then get the Asha War in. With the micro stagger, she will get hit by everything.
1. Whoa. Two. Does it count as a night boss? Bro.
Oh no, okay. That is honestly her most scary
this is
combo, when she
interesting.
does those homing blue like soul mass attack and she hits you with that staff will then just micro stagger you and you get hit by everything. He got really lucky to be able to dodge out of that. I have been nuked by that combo on multiple occasions, so it's a very scary combo.
All 4.
I have not been paying attention to the amount of summons. As far as I know, that's 2. Yeah, it's any 4 summons. It does not have to be each of her summons.
Learn my lesson.
As far as I know, that is 3. I don't know if I saw any others. It looks like Shura is going for the kill, so I think it's 4, but again, I cannot confirm or deny. That was 5? Okay, thank you.
What a fight.
Alright, nicely done by
Alright,
Chris.
let's stop
Shura
it.
there.
Now, does Chris pivot or continue for the
I think you
Remembrance
finished the
prayer?
fight.
Yeah.
Very nicely done by Shura there, though. Chris might be in trouble here.
Dude, Jesus Christ.
So fun fact with that dragon attack, when she summons a dragon, it will always spawn in the same place, and it will always do that exact same fire attack. When you're up close to her, it will always
Dude,
hit
this
you.
positioning
You
is
do not
fucking
need to run
diabolical
away
for
from it.
no
In fact,
reason.
that will get you into a point where you can get hit by it.
Dude, Renala, you bitch, please! Please, for God's sake! Bro, I'm having blindfold flashbacks, man. What the fuck is all of this? What is this bullshit?
And Chris does not need to count summons here. He just needs the kill. And so the longer he stays in this fight, the worse off it is for him.
Yeah. And Shura's now going for Clean Rot Duo.
Nicely done, Chris.
All right, we'll check in with Shura.
Should I just Ash of War there?
Yeah, so there's Clean Rot Knight. And now he's gonna go for Godric. He's popping runes. I mean, is he looking at? There's no way he's looking at 30 Faith, right? No, he just leveling
What?
health.
I mean, maybe, because that would progress yet another line, which he shows massive priority by having Renala and
Yeah.
Godric dead.
And Chris is now going for
I think he
Garomp.
might be.
Will that come back to bite me? Probably. Now that I think about it, I should have not been leveling up health. I'm so stupid. I leveled up so much already to GG. Stagger, thank you. Ah.
So, Garunk is very scary for Chris here because he does not have a lot of vigor. He's debating on if he wants to do it. Nice
And he's
dodge
kind of
by
forced,
both
right?
He is definitely forced. He's going further into weeping. Or not weeping. No, he's going...
Let's get seals now.
Is he going Godric Nefeli Lu? Is this going to be another snipe?
I mean, that would be very bad for him if he did. And also SFP. I'm sorry. What do you mean by like a map or something?
There is Elden Ring map genie.
I think is SFP. You're talking about like the map that Domo uses in Bingo Brawlers. Is that what you're referring to? Or are you saying like to actually like if you're practicing bingo? I mean, the best way is the Discord server. There's resources within the server that can help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's videos of routes. Also, you know, we have coaches and stuff that can help you. You know, learning specific routing if you're trying to get into the game. We have a ton of resources that can help you out in the Discord if you're trying to learn.
Now, most things with routing, that comes from experience, looking at the board, knowing the synergies, and just kind of general knowledge of knowing where everything is.
And it looks like Shura's gonna go seals here.
Fuck you. Go die.
Warrior blood must truly run.
Yeah, so Shura goes seals. Yeah, I mean, routing's one of the keys. Like, there's different levels to the game. I think at the highest level, routing is the difference, right? But there's a lot of steps that you need to get through first, right? Like Bingo's such an interesting game, right? And one of the things I love about it is like at the very start, it's about execution, right? Like, can you, if you're just learning, it's like, can you kill the boss? If your opponent can't, like, you're gonna win, right? Like, if your opponent just can't do it and you can, like, you just win. But like, the better you get at all right, Shura's loading back in. Is he good? All right, he's good. He's back in. That was a quick minor crash, so he's good. Anyways, the better you get at bingo, the more it becomes like a chess match, right? The more it becomes about like outthinking and outsmarting your opponent rather than just being better at the game, right? So that is what Shura is up 1-0 on seals. Chris did make up a bit of time back, because of that unfortunate crash. But these minor crashes, there's nothing we can do. Yeah. Realistically, by the time that we stop the game, Chris will have gotten the same amount of benefit, and then we've just stopped the game for kind of no reason, right? In the sense that Chris also gives the Godskin prayer book that's very heads up for incants, which is also on the board.
Did Shura end up grabbing that as well, or did he?
I don't know if he did.
Because that could be really big for Chris. If he gets sniped on seals, he very likely could end up taking incantations.
All right, so Chris is gonna grab this Grace here near Godric, and Shura, Shura's gonna get this Death Root from the Tibia, then drop down to Karonk. So feeding the Death Root to Karonk will give him a seal. He also could do the feed Death Root into attack Karonk tech that people do. So what you do there is when you feed the Death Root to Karonk, he's kind of stuck in this animation where he holds his hand out, and then you can start just wailing on him. All right, Chris is buying incants.
I don't. Okay, he has them all. Okay, I was gonna say I don't love it if he can't get the square now, but he had incants that he picked up elsewhere, and so very heads up of him to do the block that way.
Yeah.
You fucking loser, bro. How the fuck did you do that?
Now, I do like this tech that Shura is about to do. I didn't know this tech until just recently, actually. I think it was in last weekend's match. Somebody did it.
I don't think anyone did it last weekend, but we talked about it a lot last weekend. And Chris is going for Karonk here now.
I did see somebody do it, so it might have been in a practice.
Yeah, it wasn't. We talked about it a lot in officials, but I don't think anyone actually did it in official matches.
Okay. We do have a race. Chris has quite the lead on it, but Shura is right there. You'll get one uncontested attempt.
He has a lot less health too than Shura.
Yep.
Well, that fucking sucked. I completely missed the entire combo.
Ghost Summon spawned a bit weird there. I think actually they all missed, which is crazy because he had the angle like perfect.
I don't think Chris is one-shottable, but I think he's I think he's one-shottable if he has instability. Like if you miss that jump, you take extra damage from instability. That could potentially be a one-shot. Also, I think that double swipe combo would be a, you know, it's a combo, but that would kill.
Yeah.
And I mean, Shura's right there. Shura's not going for the kill though. He just hands in the seal. So this is, Shura, Chris is completely uncontested here. Oh, and that instability damage. So, yeah, when you're up in the air like that, if you get hit, because your character's not stable, you take extra damage. And that instability damage clocked him. Oh, and he was at half HP. That also would be part of it.
And keep in mind, even if he was at full HP, he would have been one shot there.
I think so. I don't know for sure, but I think so. Honestly, the damage on Garunk isn't great, and his opener is not great either. You should not be opening with this. It should be charged R2. So 3 hits to any friendly NPC stuns. This makes them mad. They get angry.
Yep, that's a 5
right?
starter right there.
And the multi-hits count, right? So the skellies count as multiple hits. So what he should be doing is he should be going charged R2, Ash.
Yep. That would be his greatest opener here.
Yeah. And it might even stun, actually, because I think it will stun.
Really close.
Well, we're gonna see, because Shura's gonna do it here, and he's doing it properly. So charge R2, Ash. Okay, doesn't stun.
But one more R2 should. Definitely don't go for a charged R2 there. No.
I think somehow the poise, there was something weird with the poise break and the poise reset, and Shura dies. I think what happened was there's something weird with the poise break and the poise reset. His breaking his stance initially is very weird, because it has to do with the stance break mechanics.
Oh my god, I'm getting hit.
He clearly somehow got his stance broken early while he had hyper armor. In some sort of the starting animation, he might have hyper armor, got his stance broken there, and then an insta reset. That might have been what happened, or that had to have been what happened, because he did at least 80. He did 80 poise damage, way more than 80 actually. Also, yeah, I agree with you, Mouse. He should be taking the crit. He should be going crit. He should have plenty of time to go crit into Ash.
Fuck.
And Shura just bails out of Garunk. He gave it one attempt and just said, fuck it. So Shura's now going... Oh, Chris just barely didn't back up far enough. And got hit by a downward slam. All right, so Shura is going to Volcano Manor. This will be good for, I mean, Altus access as well. Like at this point, Virgins is probably their best way into Altus.
Yeah, he has 0 progress towards Dectuslift. Like, I think the closest he's got is, I don't even know if he picked up the Falling Star Beast Cave Grace. Chris is going tree bosses.
All right, so we'll check in with Chris.
Which, I don't hate this. He fails a couple times against Garunk. Garunk is a very extremely tough fight. Especially at his low health and only a +4 weapon with no status effects. It's not a easy fight, and it's exponentially slower with no status effects.
Boy, I'm glad
So
that wasn't
tree
too
bosses
Halberd,
is the
'cause I was
next
really planning
optimal
on getting
block
this
for
weapon
that line.
much earlier on.
Shura messed up cage skip there. So I think he's going to do cage skip for the Somber 5 and 6. Yeah, so grabs the Somber 6 there, can get the 5 as well. And then he'll probably drop down 2 Virgins. Chris here is going for... I actually don't know what Chris is going for. Tree bosses. Yeah, tree bosses is a Watchdog
Yeah.
Catacomb.
Yeah, because he did the tree scent.
Yep. He went the wrong way though. Yeah, so he tried to go for Garronk and then just clearly said, fuck it, I can't do Garronk right now and I'm probably gonna lose to Shura if he goes for it, so I need to go tree bosses.
Yep.
And tree bosses is nice too because it works out
Building his own line.
yeah. And Shura here is gonna go grab the seal as well. So this will be, I believe, his 4th seal.
Yes, he bought the one in Round Table. He got the one from Garronk, and he got the one in
Wait,
Swordvale.
can you check his inventory? He has 4, but I think that's 2 finger seals. Because I think he started with a finger seal.
Yep. Checking it now.
Yeah, can you just check his inventory real quick? Thank you.
I got you.
Because it's 4 unique seals, so...
Okay. That's 2.
Yeah, he has 2 finger seals
Yeah.
and then 3. So
3
he has
others.
3
yeah.
unique. Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was his 4th unique one. Yep, the one that he just picked up. So, we're good. Just wanted to double check there. Alright, so Shura dies there most likely intentionally.
Yeah, I think so. Because that gets him back
Yeah.
here and faster to Virgins there.
And now, so Shura's...
Wait.
He's fucking up this cage skip. And Chris is getting octopused. But,
Why is he going...
I actually don't know why he's going cage skip.
There's no point other than, I guess, just an Altus boss, but I guess you get 50k from him.
Yeah, okay, he's okay, he's which way are you
Okay,
going, big?
yeah.
What? No, okay, he's now. I'm so confused. He died to cage skip again. I mean, Rykard has 3rd remembrance.
Oh man.
That works.
I mean,
I think the idea might be 30 remembrance, 3 remembrances, 30 faith, 5 Altus bosses, but that seems very.
It's better
Yeah.
to do Radon as your 3rd remembrance because that gets you to Valiant Guard.
Yeah.
That's a soldier. He does
Chris?
decide
The hell
to
did I
not
just
do the
witness?
skip. See, this avatar can actually be a bit of a menace, and I see a lot of experienced players die to this one because you underestimate him.
That's 3.
But nicely done by Chris. That's his 3rd tree boss. So Shura's gonna do Noble here. I mean, the only reason I don't like this play from Shura is because Shura's leveled the hell out of Vigor. He has like 30 Vig. I don't think Rykard's even gonna be enough. I don't even think Rykard and Noble will be enough for 30 Faith. I think realistically his best way would be Moog. He is
getting
very
pretty good
far off of
RNG.
30 Faith.
Oh, he gets hit there.
Yep. Gets him stuck though on the corner like he likes to do for the rollout. This is exactly how he wants to play this. Tries to see if he can use the Ash to get some chip damage. Can't. Dodges Noble Presence because of the bench.
Ooh.
And Chris is going for tree bosses, but... Okay, he's going for the Watchdog. He's going for the Watchdog.
I thought he was gonna make the same mistake.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. I was like, please, Chris, the Putrid Avatar is not a tree boss.
I made that mistake in the finals match in the Crucible last season.
How did he get stuck there? And now Shura can kind of tee off.
Very nicely done. It's actually really hard to get hits on Noble there with an axe, so very well done there.
I mean, Rosas does have an advantage of having the longest reach of any axe, or at least any of the bingo relevant axes. But great job by Shuri there getting Noble down. I mean, the question is, he's gonna level here. Like, he's not even gonna level. Like, my question is just how close is he to?
Okay, so he did pick up the 6. He'll get the 5 here. That gives him a level 6.
Yeah.
Versus.
There was just a lot of indecision there by Shura.
Yeah.
And now he's going virgins. Okay. I like this. I think this makes sense. He just he wasted some time due to indecision there. I mean, the best thing for Chris right now is like Chris's failure to do Garronk has sent him on a wild goose chase doing tree bosses, right?
Yeah.
And it's perfect for Shura, right? Because Shura, like Chris is, I mean, tree bosses is 5 times longer than Garronk as a square. It's a lot easier, but it's so much longer.
Jesus Christ, bro. Just like one-shotted him. Fuck the research, right?
Now, is this is 4 that I can think of.
This is
don't
4.
think he has a 5th, yeah. Nice stagger.
All right, nice job by Chris there. So yeah, he needs one more because he's done Tree Scent, both Watchdogs, and Energy Avatar. And Shura now has a +6. And Shura can...
Sorry, a good call here by Chris to go to the Avatar up here because that gets him closer to, like, the Viking Vader is gone, but it still gets him closer in terms of Moog Race. Like, he will have a little bit quicker of a setup for the second stage of the quest line, or whatever stage you want to call it.
What's Chris's progression towards Dectus? Because
Chris has... I believe he has the Kaled one, and he has a Grace near-ish fort height.
If Shura does this right, the problem is you want to kind of pop 30 Faith first on this line, actually. This line, this row 4 is going to be, I mean, to put it in Shura's own words, it's unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
I agree. Because
the key is going to be 30 Faith. Because Shura has a lot more Vig. Shura has a lot more Vig, so like it's going to be harder for him to get levels. He needs to disguise 30 Faith. I don't think you mark it first, necessarily. You don't need to mark it first, but you need to get a lot more runes than he has now. Like, if he just goes kills, say, Gillica and, I don't know, the Tibia Mariner or the Sanguine Noble or whatever, Chris will probably be able to block 30 Faith. Because Chris is closer to it by virtue of having leveled less, even though Shura has more runes. And Chris can always just go kill things in Dragon Barrow.
Now, I don't know what their starting faith was.
They started same
happened
class though. I think it's about
They did
11.
start the same class.
Yeah, I think it's 11 or 12. It's not super low, but it's not high either. It's pretty average. I mean, I think the average for each, because you start at level 9, right? So I think the average for each stat is 11. So literally, I think it is bang on average.
Yeah. We will see Radon here. Okay.
Yeah.
That
Radon-
will be big. It won't be enough to get the 30 faith, but it'll be a good progress towards it.
And, you know, one thing, I don't think Shura's been utilizing it, but I mean, hell, he doesn't even have another talisman on. You have the gold scarab. He has the gold scarab talisman from killing Cleanrot Duo. He should have that on. Like,
Yeah,
he should 100% have gold scarab on.
Yeah, especially with Market being dead.
He doesn't even have another talisman on. You can see he has no buffs.
Yep.
Chris is doing the last tree boss here.
Yeah, and Chris hasn't even used his Renala Remembrance.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris really might be able to take away this 30 faith.
Ouch.
To me, the question is, after Shura pops Radon, he will need more runes, but it's like, can he... It'll come down to, can Shura kill most likely probably the Putrid Avatar and Dragon Barrow fast enough?
That is what I would go for.
Yeah.
I think with the Putrid Avatar, now again, it depends on how many levels he has already put in and everything, but I think it should be enough.
I mean, because he's level 38 right now. That's high level.
Yeah.
Because he needs almost 20 levels. He's going to have to get to level 57,
57.
I think.
Yeah. If it's 19 levels.
Yeah, I'm
gonna
not
have to get up
100%.
there.
I didn't double check the faith, but yeah, because 38 to 57 is a lot. 38 to 57, that would come out to 260,000 runes.
I can pull up the lobby and see what faith they started with. So I'm really curious on that as well, how many levels
Yeah.
he needs.
Chris might just be able to snipe this away because Shura's leveled a bunch, and Chris has some runes in his pocket, right? He's sitting on 20. He's actually sitting on almost equal amount of runes as Shura is right now at a much lower level, because he has Renala's Remembrance, which he hasn't used. So to my knowledge, Shura has. Shura's in on the Radon fight. Chris is making progress towards Altus here. And yet, to Ellie's point, by him doing Dectus, that's just adding a bunch of time onto his clock. The only saving grace that it might be is that Feroth takes him to Dragon Barrow, which he might need to block 30 Faith.
Yep. Yeah, they started with 11, so that is 19 levels he needs to
Yeah,
get
unless
to
Shura
58.
invested a few levels in, because I saw him thinking about it, but I don't think he actually did pop the levels. He's being disciplined and not pre-leveling because those levels in Faith will do absolutely nothing for either of these players out unless they get the square right. So it's better to just hold on your runes rather than, you know, start investing levels, because if you get in snipe, just like, okay, great, you wasted a bunch of levels. Congratulations. Yep. Like, you've achieved nothing else other than levels that could be Vig, it could be endurance, it could be, you know, damage stat, right? And you just got nothing. Shura gets hit to Radon there. And Chris is making his way up to Feroth. Alright, that's 3 remembrances for Shura. We will see how close he is to RL 50 to 30 Faith. He does still have the Godric remembrance, but it's not going to be enough. Putrid Avatar will be enough though with the remembrances that he has. Putrid Avatar and Dragon Barrow. He goes back to first step. Most likely he's going for a pickled foul foot. Gold pickled foul foot to get extra runes. No, actually.
Where is he going? Oh, now he puts on the golden scarab.
Yeah, now he does. That was a yeah, great job. real heads up play there. Go kill the big bosses and then equip the scarab. Giving him some shit, obviously. I mean, it's these guys aren't perfect. They're human, right? It just they so infrequently make little mistakes. Yeah, it looks like it is Gargs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he can do Gargs and Dragonkin, right? And Crucible Knights down there. So that's 3 squares. And also, Chris has told you, I'm scared of Garronk. Like, Chris basically, like, by doing 5 tree bosses with no synergy, and there's no synergy on this board, before Garronk, Chris just, like, held up a big sign and said, I'm scared. I don't want to do this, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Shura still has 2 bingo opportunities available while Chris has been completely blocked out. Chris does get the golden foul foot, so he is planning on killing, I believe, Putrid Crystallion here.
Yeah. I mean, he has to.
Yeah.
Putrid Avatar, not Trio.
Yeah. Putrid.
I know what you meant. Crystallion Trio's on the board. I just wanted to correct it for the audience.
Thank you. So now, for the viewers, Rosis Axe is actually probably one of the best weapons that you want for Gargs, because they are weak to magic damage and strike damage, which the Axe does well on both.
Is it strike or is it? I thought it was standard damage.
Is it standard? I'm not sure.
I think it is standard.
That it's a very good weapon.
It's very good against them. I mean,
it has high stagger rate with its attacks, and with the magic damage, it's just a very, very good weapon to have against
Gargs. It's a very good weapon against Gargs. I think it is standard, but honestly, they are weak to strike, but the biggest thing is, like, Slash just sucks against them. Slash is terrible. Chris is fighting the Putrid Avatar in Dragon Barrow.
It's standard, okay. I apologize then.
You're good, you're good. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Chris, because he went so offensive with his own bingos in this game, right? Like, he really tried to look at column 2, row 2, row 5, column 5. But when you do that, the downside is you don't block a lot of bingos. So Shura has just, like, I mean, he has threats living rent-free in Chris's head this entire game, right? He's just sending Chris on goose chases, and Chris really isn't able to play the game. Yeah, in hindsight, I do think the killer for Chris was doing night bosses without Clean Rot Night Duo, because I mean Shura does read people really well, and I mean like he just signaled to Shura, hey, I'm not doing Clean Rot Night Duo, like I don't want to do it. If he does night bosses with Clean Rot Night Duo, I mean this is incredibly scary because he can either go and try to rush the bingo, or he can do to Shura what Shura has done to him this entire game of send Shura into Altus early, send him on a wild goose chase for those Smithing Stone Bell Bearings, and then I can go pick off whatever I want, right?
Yep. Yeah, it was very heads up by Shura to basically read him like a book.
Yeah, I mean, read him perfectly. Basically said, oh, hey, you're not doing this. What could you be doing? Renala makes a lot of sense because it would have blocked 2 of Shura's big threats in row 1 and column 4. And also it would have put Chris in a good spot for potentially a column 5 bingo, which looked like he might have wanted to pivot to, right? Because at that time he had 1 painting and 1 night boss. Shura had no remembrances dead. Which Chris knew because there were 2 remembrance squares on the board, which Shura had not marked yet. So Chris was like, hey, I have 2 of the 3 squares on the line. One of them I have prio. If I go kill Renala, like I'm in a pretty good spot here.
Yep.
And then, but unfortunately it got red because Shura didn't do, or because Chris didn't do Clean Rot Duo.
Yep.
It's not enough, Stocko. He needs 250,000. We did the math. It's not enough. So he's just going to sit on it.
And with Chris getting 30 faith here, hopefully soon for him, to block that threat at least, which it's good for him, but bad for him at the same time. Because as you said, it's a lot of basically wasted levels.
Yeah, and Shura's playing this right, because if Shura, think about it, like Chris is about to mark 30 faith. In a way, it's kind of fine, because on one hand, I'm like, okay, it'd be great to have 30 faith because it's a square, but on the other hand, it's like, it'd be great to have those levels for Gargs and potentially Mogul to Blood, right?
Chris is selling everything he owns right now to try to get this. He even has to sell his armor. The fact that it hasn't been marked yet, I think you just go kill something that you need to kill first and then mark it.
Yeah,
which he still has to do.
This is also going to be another really big win for Shura in the, in the Recusants division. And honestly, like, the playoff picture's starting to get a bit muddied now, right? So we're going to have Nexus in first right now at 5-0. Shura will move into second at 4-1. Ellie will be a half game back of Shura at 3-1. So their game, Ellie versus Shura, is going to be huge. Then after that, the 4th spot gets really contested, right? Stocko's at 2-2, Nartok's at 2-2. Chris is most likely going to move now to 2-3. I mean, so far, we'll see Ellie today, but Ellie has a big opportunity to really. Ellie and Shura have a big opportunity to really, cement their place as like the 3 who are very likely going through the playoffs.
Yep.
And then it's going to leave Stocko, Chris, and Nartok to duel to the death.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be quite the battle.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially with getting closer to playoffs and like knowing where your standings are, and how many more wins you need, and how many losses you can have. Like it's gonna start getting a lot more intense.
Oh, 100%. And also, I mean, this next game is gonna be very telling for the playoff picture too, right? Because Nartok versus Nexus, right? If Nexus wins, I mean, at that point he will have the 1 seed all but wrapped up. It'll come down to that game versus Ellie, right? At that point, if he beats Nartok today and beats Ellie, then he does secure the 1 seed, because that would be 7 wins with the tiebreaker over the players with 1 loss. You know, if he loses, the 1 seed picture does become a bit muddied. And also, like, the biggest thing is, you know, we could talk about, it's fun to talk about the 1 seed Nexus, right? But this is a huge game for Nartok. I don't think anyone expected him coming into this game with a 2-2 record, right? I mean, Nexus has a huge opportunity here because, I mean, with a win today, with a win today in this next one, Nexus can put immense pressure because he beats Nartok, and all of a sudden, Nartok either doesn't make playoffs, which is very good for him, or is playing Helios in the potentially Helios. Well, I don't know. Helios lost yesterday, right? But like potentially going to play Helios in the first round, which would also be very good for him, right?
Yep.
Because I mean, those two players are massive threats. If they have to meet in the first round, right? Sure, Nexus like, hey, I only have to play a maximum of one of them, right? I mean, I know, you know, sure, Helios is obviously very dangerous, you know, and sure, in Nexus lost to Nartok in the Rookie Rumble playoffs, like, you know, I'm sure there's a part of like the competitive side to him that wants to play him, but there's also like the, you know, being realistic about his chances. If they have to play each other in the first round and or Nartok doesn't make playoffs, everyone else's odds go up significantly.
He did Tibia just for Altus bosses.
Yeah.
It's kind of quick. And there's really no Altus kill squares, so he just needs to find any bosses to kill. And so that's what he's rushing.
Yeah, and he can sit on Garant too, because he knows. I mean, Chris has said he's not going for it. And also, yeah, Chris put levels into Faith, so it's not like Chris is like, oh, I'm going to get more Vig and then go back to Garant. Like, that's just not an option anymore. You did 30 Faith.
Yep. Yeah, I think forcing your opponent into a useless stat dump square is just an extremely powerful move because it gives you a massive advantage on just levels for health and strength or whatever stat you need to be able to wield your weapon better.
Yeah. I mean,
now that's in the case if you have a weapon that doesn't scale off of that. For instance, Arcane is probably one of the worst stat dump squares, but Faith can actually be usable with several weapons.
I mean, the biggest thing we've been seeing recently in these last few matches is just manipulating your opponent, right? Is the biggest thing, right? Like sending your opponent on a goose chase. You know, we saw it in the Sai versus Dagger match, right? Like Dagger they were both playing really, really well. Sai snipes Dagger by 2 seconds. Dagger gets forced into doing tree spirits, and Sai's able to use his creativity and routing to clean up a bunch of squares, and that's all she wrote, right?
Yep.
Forcing people into squares, especially rushing squares, so they can't synergize it as well, or can't, like, you know, squeeze little bits out of it, is so strong.
Yep.
So Chris is now going for Radon. It looks like Shura might just be going for the bingo too, or, you know, killing a Tibia along the way. He might kill the Onyx Lord here just to have an extra Altus boss, like worst case scenario. I could very well see him grabbing the Bell Bearing and just going down and killing the Onyx Lord for an extra Altus boss. But yeah, I mean, he's got Virgin set, or got Garg set up, my apologies. And this is going to be the first of 2 Smithing Stone Miners Bell Bearings. That was weird. Do you ever just like have a shiver and like your whole body just like jitters?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that was very weird.
Chris is definitely seeing that play here, knowing that Shura has Altus, and so he is rushing for the Valiant Gargs right now. He did get Altus and go into Altus, but I think he realizes that square is probably lost. And that his only real chance is Valiant Gargs, just because it's a boss that can be easily skill issued. But Shura definitely has the advantage in the Gargs fight.
And Chris is going for Radon.
And it looks like Shura is rushing the Bell Bearing square. So, keynote for for the viewers out there, going through this portal here that Shura is going through in the bottom right corner, you can jump down the Spirit Spring and get into the fight much, much faster. And so that's why Shura is doing this routing to there, because you just take the Spirit Spring here, and it gets you much, much, much faster. And I actually made that mistake of not knowing this in a previous game. And so I have learned from that mistake there.
Alexander, you fucking fat ass, dude.
Chris is unhappy
Fucking
with,
body block me,
with
you fucking
Alexander.
piece of shit.
Yeah, so Shura is just going straight for the second bell bearing, and if he does get it, he has a huge lead on Gargs and way more health.
Yep.
And a better weapon. His weapon's +6.
Yep. Now Chris did pick up the +5, but the difference, like, it's one level, but it's a very massive difference.
And it's just the
between
time
each level.
difference too, right? Because not
Yep.
only, Shura's gonna have to go level that weapon.
Yep.
Or Chris will have to go level that weapon. Shura doesn't, right? And this is definitely not Chris's best Radon here.
No.
I mean, I think we're seeing a bit of like the reverse of what we saw yesterday. A massive part in Chris's win over NVCC yesterday was that he was able to utilize Despoker more effectively. I think Shura has just been able to utilize Rosa's axe a bit more effectively today. And it
agree.
goes to also show like how fucking hard rando bingo is. Like, you have so many weapons that like you need to know how to use. Some of them are more like unique than others, right? Death's Poker is probably the far end of like very unique. You have weapons like Death's Poker and Bloodhound Fang, which are very highly specialized, right? Zamor, yeah. And like, I mean, the Rosa's axe isn't the most specialized weapon, but still, like, there's a big difference between people who know perfectly how to weave in the L2 versus not knowing how to. And I think Shura, like, Chris is just, or Shura's been just a little bit more effective with that than Chris today.
Yep. And that comes into play here even with Alexander, because as you see, same thing. He did the Ash of War off the start. With Alexander, you actually don't deal any damage to him until he is actually aggroed on you. And so doing the Ash of War, like, that's 3 hits. Or it's technically 4 hits, because you get the initial hit and then the 3 hits from the skeletons. And so only one of those actually deal damage.
Threep, thank you so much for the bits. Appreciate you.
Then we will see a Valiant Gargs play. Let's go.
Yeah, Mouse, I agree. Like, knowing the punish windows is so huge, and that's something that Shura knows. He's done a lot of no-hit runs. I mean, to the point that he's tried to route Perfume Bottle's only no-hit runs. Yeah. Like, just was struggling with it. Mainly DLC stuff, though, to be fair. He likes his DLC only runs. But yeah, he knows these things.
Yeah, and that just comes down with the experience. So much of bingo is truly just like, how much do you practice and learn about each of these weapons, how the bosses act and move and things like that. It's so much just experience. And so you really see just how much these players put work into practicing bingo.
Yeah, a ton. What is Christ going for right now? Chris is going for he's going to block. He's trying to block Gargs.
Yep.
Because that would be a big go. Yeah.
He has no choice but to try for Gargs.
I mean, unfortunately, there's just been the stories of this game, right? Like, if Chris gets Garank, it's a lot easier, but it's like, he had no choice but to go for Tree Spirits. Then he had no choice but to go for 30 Faith. And now he has no choice but to go for Gargs, right?
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, Chris could have called his bluff, but that's very difficult to do, right?
And it's very...
And Shura's even... I think he might go for Bingo Majority here. He's going to actually kill a Crucible Knights beforehand.
I don't like this. I
don't either. I think if you're going to go for, like...
Is he fight? He is gonna.
Yeah.
Fight. He's gonna pull it over.
I don't
here.
like this either. Like, if you're gonna go for the bingo, go for the bingo, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't need to. I see this a lot, like where players will half-ass a bingo line. I don't like that. Like if you're going for a bingo, go for it, right? Don't half-ass it.
Like, come and clean up the Crucible Knights after
Yeah.
if you get sniped on the square. It's definitely not the play to go for Crucible
I mean, I
Knights.
know the idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not horrible in the sense that, obviously, like, if you want to win by majority, this is a good way to do it. But if you are going to try to commit to a bingo, then just commit.
Yeah. I mean, if the idea here was Crucible Knights from the start, then I think it's fine. But if the idea is Crucible Knights into Gargs, I don't really understand that, being honest. I think you just go Gargs.
Yep. Especially with knowing the progress that Chris has on
Fuck
night
me.
bosses,
Fuck this guy.
you know that one of them was Crucible Knight.
Yeah, because Shura's just spending a lot of time, I mean, even killing these little guys.
Is this the first time we have seen these Crucible Knights killed for the square?
I mean, I don't know if it is
At
the
least
first
in
time
an-
technically this season. I know
Like, at
I've
least
seen
in
it
an official match.
before. I definitely think I've at least seen it in the qualifiers.
Okay.
Durf did it.
Durf did it? Okay. It is a very, very
It's the
heads-up
first
play,
time in a
and
couple
I
weeks
like
I've
it.
seen it. I don't think I've seen it until the last time it had to have been like week 1 or week 2 if it was official. And okay, yeah, he is pivoting out, so he's not actually going for Gargs.
Okay. So yet again, pushing your opponent into a very long and difficult
Yeah.
square while you just kind of clean up the rest of the
I think
board.
that's perfectly acceptable. Like if he was just, if the idea was always Crucible Knights, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I like it.
Yeah.
But if he had pivoted then to Gargs there, I wouldn't have liked it as much.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's hard to say though, right? Because like you get 2 of the 3. If you get sniped on Gargs while fighting it, you just immediately pivot to
Yeah.
the last one. It's not a horrible play. But if you're rushing a bingo, like you said, just rush the bingo. I mean, you saw it yesterday.
Especially
with me,
because-
like, I didn't set up anything else. I rushed that
Yeah.
bingo.
Especially because it's highly probable, like you won Dragonkin, and as a result, like you realistically have priority.
Yep.
And I think Shura will just go Gronk here to finish this, honestly.
That's what I'm thinking.
Unless he really wants to get the bingo majority, right? But yeah, there's Crucibles.
So I just learned something there with that Crucible fight. With that second tail whip there and the big tail whip, like, he went for a jump attack. I actually did not know you could do a jump attack there. I always just
And
roll
actually,
it
no,
and then get a
Shura's just
jumping
gonna go for
attack.
Altus bosses here.
Okay. I mean, he's got options how he wants to finish this game, so watch him set up, kill one, and then go Gronk or something.
Yeah. Because Shura's gonna annihilate Gillica, and then we'll check in with Chris on Gargs.
I love this attack. Alright, you big bitch, get over here.
Sorry, there's no Lord of Blood today.
I'm sad.
At least not this fight. Or this match. Very, very good damage here with Rosa's axe. It's only +5, but he is just kind of melting through the health here.
Thank you. Bad hitbox.
I mean, you said earlier it's one of the best weapons for guards.
Yep. Yeah, this is where you gotta really be careful with Gargs though, because right now they're both like super aggro on him.
Yeah, you need to be very, very careful. And Shura's gonna go for Godfrey to finish this off.
Bro spitting.
So I know we all want to see Gargs, but this will be the final fight of the match for Shura, so we are gonna go big screen with him once he enters the fight.
Amazing.
Chris might die here. Yep. Chris goes down and Shura is playing for the match. It's been a very nice game by Shura. He kind of just was able, he was really, I mean, not only did he play very well execution wise, but he was just able to manipulate Chris. Like, just was able to send him wherever he wanted.
Yep.
And I think you can see that in the fact that, like, in terms of pace, this was not the fastest match, but it's not like the player, it's not like, you know, Chris in particular, it's not like he played poorly. He just was forced into long squares with little synergy because Shura just manipulated him.
Wow.
He was a puppeteer this match.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And Chris, as you said, Chris played a beautifully skilled game.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Valiant Gargs, is that his only death this game?
I mean, one
I
of
can't think of any
he
others.
died. Did he die to a? I think he died to one of the Stormhill Crucible night once. But like, I mean, overall he played a clean game, right? No, Garronk was a problem.
Oh,
Garronk was
you're
a
right.
problem.
He did die 3 times with Garronk. But I mean, that's Garronk.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, yeah, and overall, right? Like, you know, he played a pretty clean game. Like, there were some mistakes, but you know, wasn't like a horrific game execution wise. They're just, you know, he was forced into some
there it
squares,
is.
and that'll be the difference.
GG's go to Shura.
Dude, thank God you didn't fucking push that line.
GG's to Shura. Congratulations. We will bring. Oh, that's not Ginger. There he is.
That don't look nothing like me.
We will bring the players in for a very short post-match interview, and then we will get ready for the next one. GG's, gentlemen. GG's.
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 We gotta make this quick to you know, get ready to turn over to the next match. But you know, sure, I first want to say, you know, congratulations on the win. Now you move to 4-1. Looking really good on playoffs. Obviously, you're gonna have a massive game coming up against Ellie, as well as, you know, Nartok in the future. How are you feeling about the season at this point?
I'm feeling good. This win, it was important to win. Well, I guess all of them are, but more so than others. Beating Stockman, Nartok, and Chris are like, that is pretty good for me at least. Having head-to-heads on these people, because I like they're in playoff contention, is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I need to Chris, how the fuck did you do 12 incants?
Bro, I cooked with that square, bro.
Yeah,
I
I was like mind blown. I was like, bro, I got him on this line. And then you marked it. I was like, what?
I fucking cooked on that square, dude. I was so proud of that. I started off as Prophet, then I killed the Crucible Knight, then I got, like, what's it called? Then I got the prayer book. What's it called? Then I got the prayer book from Stormvale, and then bought everything from Corrin.
Which you did not pick up, Shura. It's the chest right next to
Wait,
where the seal
not?
is.
Yeah, and even if I didn't start off as Prophet, I think I could have bought the two stone sword keys. And
Well, really quickly, like I said, I got to transition quickly, but I want to ask you, one of the big moments in the match was the Renala Clean Rot Knight duo. Sure. Can you talk to us about like why you decided to pivot off to go back to Renola instead of cleaning up a Clean Rot Knight duo there?
Because, bro, I don't know. I don't know why you did Fortnite bosses and not Clean Rot Knight duos. So I was like, okay. I was like, it looks like you're not. You're straight up not going for this square. Going for Renola, that wasn't the purpose. The purpose was that column 5, the 3 remembrances square. I didn't want him to actually push that. I needed him to know that I had way more progress, because I set up Godric and Nephili Liu as well. It was either going to be Renola or Godric. One of those two is what I was going to pivot to. Renola was just like, I need pressure. Like Renola's like the best square there because it builds the thing. But I was thinking like, I could do Godric and then back into Clean Rot, do it faster than Renola.
Yeah, I think that was the moment of like the biggest moment of the match, because that was a really heads up pivot by you. And because Chris was like, you did snipe him on Renola.
Oh,
and that
damn.
was
Like
that
by
was
how much?
he was almost done with phase 1 when you killed her, I believe.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, well then I did not have time to do the Godric.
Yeah, you would have lost a square if you did Clean Rot
Okay.
first. But
I
yeah,
didn't think you'd challenge Academy.
it was very aggressive. I get why he did though, because of the idea that you said earlier with the 3 remembrances, especially because he already had a Crucible Knight dead with a Night Boss. And at the time you were pressuring row 1, column 4, Renola takes off both of those, right?
Yeah, that's true. I midway through, I think when I was doing troll bosses, I kind of noticed, I was like, oh shit, he doesn't actually know that I'm ahead on this stuff, and I kind of need him to know.
Yeah.
So he doesn't go for it.
Well, GG's, gentlemen. GG's.
I do have one question for Chris.
Okay.
And Chris, that is, why did you not synergize Clean Rot Knight duo with that? Because that would have been a massive, massive, massive threat for you if you had gotten both of those squares at the same time. And that pushes the final square as Smithing Stone Bellbearing.
Yeah, and then I'd have to go to Altus way earlier than I had to in this one.
Yep. And now, obviously, you don't know this, Chris, but you had much more priority on Altus than Shura did.
I see.
Yeah, my idea was that I was gonna, or like my game plan was row 1. That was my game plan, to pressure row 1. You doing Knight's Calves though that early fucked me up, because I don't know why. Did you do that with +0? Because what I was hoping for in Liurnia was like, okay, if I run over, it's Dragon Halberd or Banish Knights, and then I'll do Knight's Calves instead. I'll just do a turn.
I apologize. We really got to get over to the next one. The next one starts in 5 minutes.
Please become Elden Lord.